Welcome back to another episode of the IndieFilm Insider podcast. My name is Owen, DP and producer, here with
Jake Rossbell, a writer and director, and we're also here with
Eric Dutka, writer, PA,
production
PA, and PA for now.
And Scripty. He was a script supervisor, and first AD for a bit. Today we are doing something a little bit unconventional. This is less of a podcast and honestly more just a video. We're going to be reacting to some of our old films. So we have 6 total films that we've done over the span of 4 years. Not all of them, just a curated selection of our maybe not best work, but some work. And we're gonna have Eric kind of go through some of these and ask us some questions about them, and also just do a little commentary on the film. So kind of how we came up with it. Any like BTS stuff, any decisions we made or neglected to make regarding the production of these films.
Yeah, think of Eric kind of like almost like an audience in. He will be sort of the more objective viewer here because Owen and I have our opinions about these films, and I think Eric has seen most of these, but maybe it's been a while. Maybe it's been so. Hopefully, we can refresh him. I don't know if you've seen this one that we're about to watch, which is actually called Reconcile. That was a film we made. When was that made? 2020.
2020.
Made in 2020 for Peter McKinnon's very, very popular camera YouTuber. Sort of. This
one was in 2020. 72-hour short film challenge. I should be recording on this. And the whole thing was, this is kind of weird because you could game it really easily because there was no prompt. There was no like, you have to say this phrase. It's just like go out, make a film in a weekend, and submit it by like midnight on that Sunday, and it was announced like on Friday or something. So we decided to make this one that that included Carson, who was a guest 2 weeks ago.
I think 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, you could check out his IFI, shameless plug. So this one is Reconcile. Eric, do you want to go over a couple things that you're going to ask us about basically all the films that we talk about?
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to go over just main parts of making a movie. So cinematography, acting, screenwriting, and then just like, I guess your overall feels about like being on set of those films. I was on set for I think 4 of these films, or 3 of them, and then I wrote Death Knows My Name.
Yeah.
So your guys' opinion about being on them, how you guys have evolved over time, I think, and just lessons learned, I think.
That's what we're not watching. There's a short film called Lessons Learned.
Oh,
that one. Yeah. And so we're going in reverse chronological. So we're starting in 2020, and then we're going. The last one we're gonna watch, we just put out like 3 months ago. So let's get into it. Eric, you haven't seen this yet. Gimbal movement. Okay, so I don't know what the fuck I did with the grade on.
I was about to say it's like slightly like blue.
Yeah. So okay, I was shooting on an A6400 with only 8-bit color, so I had no right to like actually color grade this thing. The entire thing, I was on a gimbal the entire film. Like no tripod, no handheld, nothing, because I just got the A6400 and I had just gotten like the DJI Ronin SC. So the entire thing was all on a gimbal and that camera, and the camera's like this big. It's fucking minuscule. With a kit lens too. The 16 to 50 variable aperture one. Because I was like, yeah, sure. If I just like hold the gimbal really, really steady, that's like basically as good as a tripod.
It's basically cinema.
Yeah, basically. And then I don't know. I was trying to cook with this grade, but I mean, honestly, it doesn't look the worst ever.
It looks very underexposed though. Like it looks extremely dark. Like everything. Like there's no like it's just very like low. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at this. Maybe because we're outside or slightly outside with the sunlight kind of in our eyes, but I don't know. It just looks a tiny bit just below the threshold of like what seems like normal.
Yeah,
for just regular exposure.
And I added blue because it's sad and whatever.
I don't know why how the blue makes total sense, but
also shot midday is pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is probably like noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually that's what it looks like. It looks like we kind of like try to like do some weird day for night stuff with it. But
No, we didn't.
But it looks like we did.
It looks like we tried to, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we made it like day for like dusk or day for morning or some shit.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the gimbal movements, those are pretty smooth.
Yeah, they're not bad. The shot's actually pretty cool, this one right here. And then reveal. Very loud sound effects. That peaked, I'm pretty sure.
Seriously?
What? What do you want?
You know what I'm talking
You
about.
fucking hit me. She said no.
You're my friend. You can't do shit like that.
Okay, actually I lied. That was handheld, and you can tell because the stabilization is so shit.
Is there no IBIS?
No, there's no IBIS in this. So I think we would like whoop stabilized it in Premiere, and it looked so bad. So basically the whole plot of this movie is like, okay, well, let's see if you can figure it out, Eric. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Let's see if it's coherent enough for Eric to figure out.
Cool. What the fuck is wrong with you? Calm the fuck down. I told you to stop doing this shit, man. Stop trying to get with my girl. Don't call her your girl if you're not gonna be honest with her. You still haven't told her what you did when you were 16. And if you're not gonna tell her soon, then I'm gonna fucking tell her. Well, in that case, fuck you.
Obviously, no ND filter.
Well, in that case, fuck you, man.
Do you want to skip this or watch this?
Yeah,
okay, this show's actually kind of cool. I hung out of the sunroof of a car with a gimbal.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
I actually think someone asked if it was on a drone, and it was not.
Yeah, it looks pretty
It
cool.
looks smooth.
I guess how long this scene goes on for. Is this one scene like half of the movie?
Basically, it's just him walking with music.
Also, like, not correct music either.
We could have like literally just cut to this shot if we had to show it. Like these two shots right here, or
Yeah.
3 shots, and that would have been enough. But no, we had to show him walking all the way there and all the way back.
Although this is my favorite tidbit. It rack focuses to that back tree and then back to Jake, but because the fucking aperture is so high, you don't even notice it.
Fuck.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Eric, immediate thoughts.
Immediate thoughts. So they didn't say the character names, but I guess Jake's character was messing with this other dude's girl, and he goes into the woods to recover a weapon, and then brings the weapon to kill Jake, but that weapon actually doesn't end up working, so he uses his hands and then a shovel, or what was that at the end?
An axe.
I
An
think it was
axe.
yeah.
An axe.
You don't really get
Yeah.
a good shot of it. You just get like the close up of the handle.
Yeah.
I
But-
will say though, like,
So at least, so he got the plot like 100% correct,
yeah.
which is
I mean,
I mean, there was a supposed to be.
this shot I think is really cool. I think there's things you guys did that was like really.
yeah, like there's camera, I guess shots were actually pretty creative in this one.
Yeah.
Like I really like the final shot actually looking at the sky, like the POV shots, which is something I do want to do more of.
Wait, did that say June 21st?
Yeah.
Wow. So basically 5 years, like literally just 5 years ago. Because we
Oh.
shot this probably like right before, right?
the Friday. No, the Saturday, I believe. It was announced on the Friday. We shot this on the Saturday, and we edited it on the Sunday.
And then it was uploaded the same day it was done editing. Yeah, so I mean, this we probably were shooting this like today or yesterday.
I mean, tomorrow.
We shot this tomorrow.
Oh no, I guess.
Because if we shot it and then we edited it on the 21st.
Yeah, so five years ago today.
That's kind of that was unintentional. That was an unintentional thing. But yeah, 5 years ago today we were shooting this in some capacity.
It's crazy.
And yeah, you can tell a lot of the stuff we were trying to do. There was also, I don't know if you remember this, Owen, but we tried to make there an inference that where my character says like, oh, you didn't tell her what you did when you were 16.
Yeah.
And the idea is that he probably killed someone when he was 16, and that's why he hid this gun out in the woods. And then the reason why the gun doesn't work is because the fucking gun was in the woods for like, you know, a couple of years. And when he comes and gets it, it's probably like fucking like full of like water and like fucking like fungus or some shit. And it just is jammed because of course it would be. And so we have like a whole 2-minute sequence of him recovering a gun that doesn't end up working. So I don't know why we thought that was like, we were pretty confident too that we were like, I remember we were like, yeah, we're probably going to at least get an honorable mention because we're doing something unique here. And this is during COVID. And the fucking film that won was a film about COVID. And we explicitly said, we're not going to do a film about COVID because everyone's probably going to do a film about COVID and the lockdown and the pandemic. So we try to like branch out, and apparently that's not what they were looking for. They were looking for something more topical, but
I mean, I think it would have been good if it wasn't like bad.
Oh yeah, that's also true. Is like we obviously we weren't. It didn't get in because it was shit. But I think that our intention going into it was still correct. I think we had the right mindset going into it.
So I think one thing that you pointed out too was that the scene, of him getting the weapon
starts at 140.
140 and goes to 3:05. So about a minute and 27 seconds.
That's crazy.
of a 4-minute and 30-second film. So if like going back on this, you said this was like the biggest.
We
like,
make that we make that sequence like 10 seconds.
10 seconds, or like have more like character development in that sequence. But like what like when you would you be okay with it being like just shorter?
Yeah,
the short film in general just being shorter.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, right.
But like also, I mean, it was like all of this was like improv.
Mm-hmm.
Like the entire like no shot list, no script, no nothing. We just had okay. He did something bad. He tries to get his girl. He wants revenge. There's the movie.
That's actually slightly untrue. There was a script.
Was there?
You wrote the script. Yeah, I remember we did print out a script for it.
Oh.
It was. I don't think we followed it, but we did have like an outline.
So wrote Friday, shot Saturday, edited Sunday.
I think so. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So how about each of you just rank like the strengths and weaknesses of this film? Let's do cinematography. Maybe grade will be its own thing. And then plot / like screenwriting, and then acting. I guess those
acting,
4.
Sure.
Yeah. Rank those. Each of you can go and just say like your opinion. Owen, you want to start?
Yeah. So cinematography, that's kind of different. So I was like basically green when we shot this. In terms of like overall cinematography, like obviously it's not great, but like I genuinely think this was a good execution for the knowledge and the tools I had available at the time. Because like I didn't have an ND filter nor knew what one was. I think the shots are generally pretty creative. This was like my 4th time using the gimbal, and like I know gimbals on a mirrorless camera, you don't have to have a ton of expertise to use it correctly or well, but like the gimbal use wasn't the worst. If we're going out of 10, like on a broad scale, like a 3, because there are 4, because there are some creative shots in there, and I didn't know what the fuck anything else was, but like what was here compared to what I could have done, probably like an 8 or 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then what were the other ones? Acting, like I don't know. I won't. The acting was not great, but whatever. Neither of these
to be expected.
Yeah, so. Neither of these people were actors, so it's like whatever. They were writing shit dialogue. Like writing, there was basically no writing. I don't remember even writing it. And then color grade, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I did recover some highlights kind of well, because like there was this shot specifically. Nope. Right here, this shit is like clipped to hell. Like there's like grass and this stuff. And I think I recovered that okay. I think this was also like pretty clipped. That's why it looks like almost like log footage.
It looks strange. Yeah. No contrast.
Just because I had to pull down the highlights so much and I didn't really know to drop the shadows to compensate for that. So like the grading, I mean, obviously I did the best I could, but the grading still wasn't great. I'll give it like a 3.
Yeah, overall, I would say this film, just like with the overall rating, is probably like, I'll say like a 3 or 4 out of 10, just because I think it was again, this is 5 years ago, and I think that we were still trying to figure out exactly like what we wanted to do with film, and we were. I liked the idea that we were kind of trying to do it in any way we could. So we casted, myself and Carson in it, and we just kind of like went with whatever we had. We just like used it. So I think that was good. Yeah, going through each of them, I guess, like writing. Again, like I don't know because I don't remember. I don't really exactly remember what we wrote. I do know that there was an outline, but not great. I think the cinematography again, actually, I mean, going relative to the time though, I think absolutely relatively that this was a decent attempt, and I think that this is probably one of the better attempts we had for the time.
Yeah.
This is also during a time where Owen and I kind of made like a bunch of started a bunch of films but never actually finished them. So this is the first time, or not the first time, but this is an example of us actually doing it all the way through, which is important. So yeah, I don't know. I think learning it was a good learning experience, and we were working with obviously a very short time frame, but it was an excuse for us to like actually do it all the way through. So that's what I would say about Reconcile. What about you, Eric?
I think that it's actually pretty impressive what you guys were able to do on the production side of things, just shooting it. Obviously, I think one of the hardest parts about making a film is trying to translate the like creative pre-production aspects into the production. So like the writing and making it look good or whatever. And obviously, this one had very minimal writing and time put into on that side, but I think like the shots, like we talk about the shot, I think it's fantastic. I think it's really creative. I think it's great. The shot of you eating with the tree in the background, I think those are cool, creative. Like you said, it's cool that you were able to do that with not knowing but still having like a vision for it.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty impressive. That being said, that's probably, in my opinion, the only impressive thing about it. Everything else, like you guys would say, I'd say that, yeah, like 3 out of 10 is super fair. I'd maybe even go a little bit lower to save space for the other films.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
And one other thing too is I believe, Owen, you were 18.
Yeah.
And I would be that would make me 16. So I think like relative to that, I mean, absolutely. I think this is like a very good stepping stone, but that's actually kind of weird. I didn't even like compute that when we said 5 years ago, but yeah, that's interesting.
I was 2 months into being 18 here.
This was before I knew you guys too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we were still doing it.
Okay, so this was the first film, Milk, that I actually helped Jake and Owen shoot. I was a PA. I think it only came out for one night.
I think did you only come out for the reshoots? Oh no, you came out for the main shooting of.
I don't know.
The last one.
Yeah,
I think it was the main one.
Yeah. It was great. It was my first time being on any kind of film set, and I just wanted to come help out and see what was going on. And I remember showing up and thinking to myself, like, maybe I should have saved this for when we move on to the next film that I helped you guys with. But anyways, I remember showing up and being like, what am I doing here? like I was honestly like the way that the whole set was made up, and
like good or bad?
It kind of in a bad way. I was just like, this is like such a waste of time. Like I don't know why. And I think we ended up staying there till like 12 or like 11
probably
at night, and I was like, this is so dumb. Like I'm never helping these guys ever again.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to the next film. We'll talk about the next film, but big jump. I think that's one thing I'll say that when we move on is like how much you guys have improved, and we'll even see it here with this film. So
and to be fair, this was 3 years later. So this was what Jake and I consider our first short film. Obviously there was that one, but like this is the first like one we had an actual attempt with. So we took some time with the script. We actually made a shot list. We made an effort to get actors. First film we shot coverage on. First film we hired an actor for. And I'm actually pretty proud with. But we'll watch it first. But even to this day, I'm still pretty proud with a lot of the technical elements and how it kind of holds up even to this day.
I think it was very. It's definitely an ambitious project because it's like very vague what happens in it. Obviously the subject matter is very hard to talk about and very hard to portray. So I think most of my issues actually reside with that, with the subject matter we chose and the way we choose to handle it. Keep in mind this is based on a short story I wrote in I think like 2022. So it's like a page and a half long.
So the actual concept is still a little bit older than when we shot it.
Yeah, so the concept has been around. We changed the concept very heavily. A lot of the stuff that you'll see here was not in the original short story. So we expanded upon it in many good ways and also I think many bad ways. We also have an entirely separate sequence that we filmed for this short that has never been released, I don't think. I think it's actually you can catch a tiny glimpse of it at the very end because we do a post-credit scene with it, but I wish that we could somehow salvage that. I wish that we had a better way of including it because I think that what we got there was interesting and I think the ideas were pretty I think it was an interesting concept, like the second sequence.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's take a look at it. And Jake, you composed this music, right?
Yeah, so I composed this with my the way I did it was I took my guitar, I just fucking tuned it to like random shit, and then I hit random notes, and then I took those notes, added it to Premiere Pro, and then I added like a reverb. I think it's called flanger. I don't know what the fuck that effect's called, but it basically makes it like it makes that like little vibrato kind of thing going on. And yeah, I just did that with every fucking song. Added a couple like random like bass notes in there. I think it kind of holds up with the theme though of like it being like a distorted memory kind of thing, but
yeah. Yeah, this was the day you were on set for, right?
Yeah. It was this night shoot. Yeah.
The body makeup should have been the same. I mean, it might have had like wear or something, but we didn't redo it. Obviously, you can't fucking see anything. I try to rack focus to what's behind him, but it's all black.
Okay, that's enough. You're gonna kill him.
I don't care.
Like even to this day, like this is still a pretty good shot. This whole sequence. I mean, you'll see right here, the grade is like pretty drastically different.
it goes from like blue to green.
Yeah.
Yeah, very obviously blue here.
Paul.
And now it's green.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think you'd notice that if we didn't point it out, honestly. But like, I mean, and like to grade this, I just used like a LUT that might have been at full strength, but like, I don't know. I still don't think like, cause you didn't really like this grade, right, of this sequence.
I remember I had a couple issues with the initial. I think this version was the version I liked the most, just because I found that the whatever you were doing to it to make it more blue, it just like looked like you were adding a blue filter over top of everything. And I think what I was kind of going for, I think we'd be able to pull it off better. Because I feel like my issue with a lot of color grades is that it feels like it's not actually in the environment. It feels like it's almost just like a little screen you put over everything. I think the way you can get around that is like actually manipulating the color of different parts of the image. So like the shadows, the highlights, the midtones. I think that's a better way of actually controlling, I guess, in my mind, of like what looks good color wise, because I like whenever I edit photos, I like to actually like I always manipulate the shadows to be like different colors, because I always find that to be more appealing.
Go grab the milk. Paul!
Hey, would you be able to get some more firewood real quick?
Yeah, where at?
Just to the right of the garage.
All right.
My goat, Arthur Fedrizzi. You were just like someone who worked out in the gym, and we're like, hey, you want to come be an actor in our movie?
I remember him.
He's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I remember when we told him the concept too, because we had a little gym comedy channel, and I think he kind of assumed that our film was like going to be like a comedy.
Oh, really?
So I remember we told him the concept, like, yeah, it's about this guy. You know, I don't want to. I want to see how much Eric remembers of it, but you know, I was fucking like, yeah, it's about this. Like, this happens, this happens, this happens. He's like, oh, but it's a comedy, right? I was like, no, it's not. It's definitely not. But yeah, that's a little bit about the Drizzy legacy.
Pulling focus in the shot was a bitch.
It was me.
Hey, you are with me on this, right?
I don't know.
Paul, you know why we're doing this.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if maybe this is going too far.
I need you to be on board with this, or else it isn't gonna work out.
I mean, I trust you, but what's the end game here? You've kept him for 5 days. When will it be enough?
When I say it's enough, I don't know. 5 more hours, 5 more days, 5 more weeks. What would you do?
Have you asked her what she wants? Maybe try that for a start, because I doubt she'd want this.
How the fuck do you know what she wants? You think she wanted to be...
I actually think the wind noise kind of works here.
Look, I need you to be 100% in on this, or all this goes down. We're too deep. It's too late to get out.
So I mean, immediately, what a amazing jump in your dialogue. I mean, obviously the first film that we watched was supposed to be short. Like we already talked about, the pre-production was rushed, all of it, the script was rushed, all this stuff. But still, what a really cool like scene to watch and just see like how much you guys improved over 3 years and creating a scene where effectively two people are just talking, which is a really hard scene to stay in tune with. So that's cool. That was a good scene. I loved it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really actually still to this day. I mean, obviously, if we were to shoot it right now, I would change a lot in terms of like cinematography and stuff. Like I would do a decent amount, but I think it still kind of holds up to this day.
Right. Yeah. It isn't perfect. I think like acting could have been a little bit better, maybe. And then the dialogue could have been a little bit cleaner. But still, it was like such an impressive display. Like you would never, if you look at it now, you would never say that the people that made the first film made the second.
Yeah.
But that's the case. So
Yeah, and then also like the audio on that was actually good. Like shout out Sean, my boy Sean John. We had like extended the boom pole like 10 feet, and he put it like over the fire, and I got like very very clean audio.
Yeah.
I don't think we did that much to it besides like adding like EQ and stuff.
That still is my favorite scene in
Yeah.
all of Milk. That's my favorite sequence. It always has been. I think from like the look to the just like what happens in the scene, and I think overall, I think the acting actually is at its strongest point in this moment because it's a lot more. It's less explosive. It's less like in your face, and I think for a lot of reasons that's my favorite sequence in across the board.
Yeah, I actually agree. We messed around with the order of everything that happens in this film a lot.
Yeah.
So like there's the whole thing, I mean, you'll see there's like 3 different like sequences. There's like the street stuff, so like the opening shot, that kind of stuff. There's the kidnapping stuff. And then there's the third sequence that we cut completely that Jake alluded to. And then there's the campfire stuff. And so we ended up settling on this order, like everything except for the final scene, and then the campfire, and then the final scene.
Mm-hmm.
We originally had the shot where he's like handcuffed to the fence after this scene, I think. But I think I think the decision still is probably correct to have this scene where it is.
I think so too.
And yeah, I just like how it immediately, like, the brevity of this scene and how concise it is. I think still we did a really good job on it. Because immediately he walks up, he tells the other guy to fuck off. The first line is, what was the first line? It's like, hey, you are with me on this, right? So it immediately establishes like, yeah, tension. Like the second character might not agree with the first on the kidnapping of this guy. I still think this is a really good scene, and it does hold up to this day.
Yeah, we get a lot of, and we get a snippet of like what's actually going on too. We hear something about, the main antagonist Leo. He says something, and then it kind of cuts him off, and then he settles down, and then kind of gets back into the dialogue with Paul. But we catch a tiny glimpse, and I think it's the first direct hint to what's actually going on, right? I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for a lot of reasons, all across every like possible like category, it's my favorite scene.
This was a reshoot. It was actually way lighter. This was my first like day to night type thing where I was like crushed these shots, because this was shot at like 7:30 p.m. So obviously it was still light out, because the whole thing was like there's a bloody footprint there, and we just like couldn't tell on the first shot, so we reshot this scene, and I think the grade still looks good on it.
With how fucked up he is, I'm surprised he even made it this far.
You know, you should honestly just leave him. I mean, what if someone found him? What if the police are looking for us? I mean, this situation is just so fucked. At a certain point, we
There!
just have to...
He went down into the creek. His flashlight. He's close. Look around. Get him the fuck off of me! No! Get him! No! No! Fuck! Stop! Look at me, coward!
The crickets.
Get him to look at me!
Leo, Let's just bring him back.
Fuck that! I want him to.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for her to get hurt. I made sure she didn't get hurt. Just kill me. Just shoot me. Fuck.
No, you don't get a choice. You didn't give her a choice, so why should I give you one? My sister. Why? You were one of us. Fuck.
So what are we gonna do with him?
Take him back. We still have half the milk left. After that, bury him.
You just stand there.
It's also funny, just seeing like things like. I think the biggest thing with this film is just like you guys leveled up a ton, including the acting. But like it's so. I remember you guys had that film, festival director on the podcast.
Yeah.
And he talked about, you guys made a clip out of it, but he talked about like the number one thing is bad acting, and like. Not to, I've met all these guys; they're great guys, so I feel bad saying this, but like it's so you could tell like things are a little bit distracting. Like for example, here when he gets hit and he catches himself with his arms, and then he keeps his arms in that caught position. It's like, people are gonna notice that, stuff, and that takes away from the rest of the film and makes it less realistic. But like outside of that, like what a level up I think this film had. What are your guys' overall thoughts on this one?
Okay. Do you know like what's I don't know how much we've told you or how much you know, but from watching it, what could you discern that the plot was?
So this gentleman right here, that's on the ground,
Unnamed.
He did something to this gentleman's sister. And then I guess they were all like a group of friends, the whole lot of them, all four of them. And whatever he did to this guy's sister, I'm assuming he might have sexually assaulted her in some way or did something, just because it seems like she's still alive. I think there's a scene where he says something about, oh, we should ask her. The other character says we should ask her what she wants. So, and then it's just a revenge plot where I guess they put looks like some LSD or some acid or something in a jug of milk and are giving it to this person.
It was honestly, I cringe when I watched that scene back, because that's actually me putting the stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck I don't know.
It's crushed up Smarties and literally like construction paper that's cut up
it was
into
supposed to be like,
tabs.
the idea of it was supposed to be like ecstasy and
it was LSD, right?
And it was supposed to be LSD tabs. Yeah, I could have gone about it a little bit more realistically, because I think all I did was cut up like different color pieces.
I mean, now that you say it's Smarties, you can definitely see it's Smarties, but I definitely couldn't tell. I think it was fine.
Yeah.
And then this, once you pour this in, this looked just like acid tabs. I mean, they just look like crudely cut, but it still looked like acid tabs. So I think it was.
No, I know. I think I should have done them a little bit more, a little tiny bit smaller, I would say, and a little bit more clean. Because you can fucking tell that they're not perfect squares.
Yeah. They get it right for the most part.
No, that's exactly it. It's funny because I mean, maybe because the problem with it, like, because obviously you were just now watching it with intentionality. Like, we're sitting at a table with the express intent to like watch these, and like we're letting you like, hey, pay attention to the plot because we're gonna see if it's comprehensible. The vast majority of people that we showed it to didn't know what the fuck was happening. Because like the whole plot was that guy raped the other guy's sister, and then it's a revenge plot. We made the conscious decision to not explicitly say that. The whole thing is like, we had a 0 to 100% scale. 0 is like there's no mention of what he did. 100% is like a line in the dialogue where it's like, why would you sexually assault my sister, or something like that, and we want it to go like 80%. We should have made it more explicit. My big issue with this film is how vague it is. And that was pretty by choice, but like I don't think people are going to analyze a fucking short film like this to the point that making stuff that vague is a good idea.
My issue is the subject matter. I think that there's better ways, because the idea was, this actually is not present in the original short story. The original short story, it is very much portrayed as the guy who is running away. The same concept is there. It's a guy being tortured, and he escapes this group of people. And it's implied that he's like innocent of anything. They're just doing it to like do it. And in this short film, we decided to make that a little bit more complicated by adding this aspect of like, ooh, well, what if he deserves it? Like, what if he actually is getting what he deserves because he's, you know, horrible and he did something bad? So we decided on that. I think there are better ways to make someone horrible than to go to that extreme, because essentially what we're doing is we're making people feel bad for a rapist, and we're trying to make people sympathize with a rapist. And that was I will say that was also a thought we had, like, ooh, you know, it'd be kind of interesting, maybe that will spark dialogue about what people think, like, ooh, you know, I can't believe that film made me feel bad, maybe whatever. But I think that the way we went about it, I think there is a way to go about it that's correct. I don't know what that is, but I think we just went about it incorrectly, and I do regret a lot of the choices we made with this. I think it was insensitive and just not very correct, in my opinion.
What would you do writing wise if you were to make a film with this more or less same concept today?
Because my issue is that we treat rape as like a throwaway thing, like, oh, you know, she was raped and that was the bad thing he did. I think like we could have done a myriad of things that was different.
Yeah.
It could have been her. It could have been him just like sleeping with his sister, and then maybe it's a whole thing of like masculine, like, oh, like that's my sister, bro, like what the fuck. It could have been consensual. It could have been him like maybe he fucking like when they were all high, he fucking like stole this like dude's fucking like iPad mini or something. I don't fucking know. Like we could have, there are ways to go about it where we could show him doing a morally indefensible thing that doesn't involve off-screen like female suffering, because we chose to show the male perspective on it and not the female perspective, and I think that's also in and of itself not correct. Not that it's not correct, but I just don't think it's something that I would ever do again. And that's my take on it.
Okay, yeah, because obviously like the sister isn't even named.
No,
there's nothing with the sister. It is kind of a throwaway thing. I'm not saying there's like good or bad ways to. Okay, sorry. There obviously is bad ways to tell a story that has to do with rape. But yeah, I mean, if you think that it doesn't hold up and you wouldn't do it, that's fair. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, no, I think that the rest of the film holds. I think technically it holds up. I think, yeah, like Eric said, it's a tremendous upgrade from what we did previously. I think there's some things obviously where it's lacking. I think, yeah, overall acting, we only had one, professional actor, and I think even this role. Also, to be fair, this is our first time directing such a large cast. This is also back when you and I were co-directing, which I think we still didn't really know. I think we didn't know a lot of things about filmmaking. I think one thing we actually didn't really know that well was exactly what a director does.
Yeah.
I think we knew like, oh, director, like they control the film, but like I don't think we actually knew that directors they should like kind of like have a strong one, like a univoice or like a unified voice with like one artistic vision, or like a very solid artistic vision. And I think that I was just sort of like, that was good. Let's do another take, and let's just do it slightly differently. Like I don't think I exactly knew what I wanted for this film. So I think there was aimless direction as well as mostly amateur actors. And I think that is another thing that is stacked against it, in my opinion.
Let's go to the rating things. Honestly, for the rating things, I want to do like 2 and 2. like I'll kind of take on the most of the stuff that I did, and you kind of take on most of the stuff that you did.
Yeah.
So like I'll talk about cinematography, you talk about writing.
For brevity.
I think the cinematography is good. I think it still holds up. Obviously, if we did it today, I would do things differently. But overall, and of course, like this is far from the Hollywood look that people are kind of striving for. But like I still think it's a solid like. Like also, of course, we didn't have access to a ton of resources, right? Because like the most difficult part of making low budget movies is exterior night scenes, and that is like fucking terrible. It's very, very hard to make those look good, and I don't think I succeeded on that. There's stuff I definitely should have done differently, even with the resources that we had access to. But I would say the cinematography is a solid like 7.2 out of 10.
I think for me, writing wise, I already mentioned a lot of stuff I would change, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. But I think for the things I would change, and just a couple things, even technically, like just with some dialogue, I do agree that it could be cleaned up. It could be a little bit more concise, even more concise than it already was. I give the dialogue, I think I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Or sorry, I'll give the writing a 6 out of 10, minus the changes, of course. And I guess direction, probably like a 3 or 4 out of 10, because again, I don't really remember actually directing all that much on set, other than like it's like this is what the line is, or like this is what it says to do, you know. So I don't think I was actually had a solid idea what a director really did. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Cool.
2 and 2.
And then look at this high quality post credit scene right here.
What is this? Some kind of Milk the movie?
Oh man, that was rough.
So, starting like around 2020, I started going to a different school up in fucking Roseville because of COVID, and they're like, my parents were like, oh, you shouldn't be in an online school, go to like this in-person private school. So I started going there, and I had to drive myself to Roseville and back every day for basically like a year and a half. And doing that, I fucking got like basically, you know, over an hour and 30 of collective driving time each time. So I had a lot of experience on the highway, and I was like, you know what? I have a lot of untethered aggression and rage when I drive with these idiotic fuckers on the road. So what if I channel that energy into a film, and I make this character, Ralph, the embodiment of all my rage and horrors. And
this is what's called a healthy outlet.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of exactly what it is. And so I remember I was on my laptop, and I was writing. I started fucking writing it. And I think I wrote it over the period of like a couple days, but I just kind of came up with like a random bullshit ending, and then I fucking slapped it together and said, okay, let's go shoot this. And then also the idea was that even though that this is like a bit more smaller in scope than I think Milk is, or Milk, I guess writing wise is, I wanted it to still be a challenge for us. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna fucking shoot it on like a live highway. And the way we did it is quite interesting, and I actually think that it holds up pretty well. And I don't think you'll watch this and like notice any like super glaring issues with continuity. Oh no, there absolutely are, but like for what could have been worse, like what could have been even worse. It could have been worse, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think like we didn't really think about it too much. We kind of had a slight plan, but I think there absolutely are glaring issues with continuity. But considering that this was like, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
More than 2 years ago. I think it holds up well in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there was this stretch of the highway where we would just get on the highway, drive for probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and then exit, and then go down this road, and then back on. We would fucking loop around trying to get all the takes that we needed.
Yeah. So and we would change the angle each time. So we would it would be Owen in the passenger seat, Owen behind, and then it would be Owen in a fucking like different car.
Yeah.
So, and it's complicated because there are 2 different cars that are going on in this, and you'll see it when we watch it, but I don't want to waste any more time.
Oh, and also, no, this was our first film that ever got into a film festival.
Oh, nice.
It got a semi-finalist placing at the Bay Area Sacramento Film Festival.
Very cool.
We went and saw it on the big screen.
I'm gonna be like 5 minutes late. Is there any way you can convince him to wait a second?
The meeting starts at 3. How do you expect me to do that?
I don't know. Figure something out. Tell him there's a gas leak.
A gas leak? Ralph, that would shut the whole building down. And why would I, of all people...
Oh, you motherfucker.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. I'm stuck in traffic right now.
Ralph, you're gonna have to face the music on this one. If I see a way to soften the blow, I'll help you out. But otherwise, this is on you.
Alright, yeah, thanks.
You have nothing to worry about. Michelle is chill, and I doubt she'll give you too much shit. So just be better next time, okay?
Alright. Thanks again, Sarah.
You there.
See you. What the fuck, asshole? You're the one who cut me off. Not today. Bitch. Fuck with me on my fucking God. I'm gonna shit in your fucking skull. Fuck. You're not getting away from me. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Fucking grind your bones into meal. Fucking. No fucking way! Fucking get you. Bitch! Fucker! You have no idea who I am. This is... Fuck. Yeah?
Hey, how far out are you? We're about to
Tell
go
him
in.
I'm not coming in.
Like, at all? Showing up a few minutes late is better
Sarah, tell Michelle I'll figure it out with her later. I'll fucking work overtime if I have to.
than... This is our monthly meeting. I don't think she'll be too happy about you skipping out without proper notice.
Fine! Tell her she can suck my fat fucking cock!
What? Ralph, I don't...
Fucker! You're fucking mine! Fucking got you! Gonna rip your dick off and fashion him in a nice pair of gloves. You hear that?
Could you please keep it down? I've got a kid in the back.
Well, you and that little fat dum-dum fucker fucky fuck are the reason I'm gonna lose my job!
If you don't back up, I'm gonna have to defend myself.
Back up? You want me to back up? How's this?
Peak sound design.
Yes.
The gaff tape over his mouth.
Wow.
That still holds up. That's still kind of funny, honestly.
That was a lot better than I remember.
Yeah, that was funny. It made me laugh. So.
Yeah, because all the like expletives and like creative insults he was shouting after we like finished the last one. He just like drove for like 3 minutes and just like improv'd a lot of that shit.
Yeah, so a lot of that I just fucking edited in. It wasn't even like him saying it when we actually filmed that. So like there was that part where he's like driving down like the fucking the wide shot of them exiting. And you fucking hear like, I'm gonna grind your bones in the meal. I'm gonna shit in your fucking skull. Like all of that was just. I mean, I guess the shit in the fucking skull that was filmed, but everything before that was just fucking I edited in.
Yeah.
But that was good. Actually, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't hate that as much.
Yeah, not at all.
Because I think I handled the full edit on this. I think there's a lot of stuff I could have done. Obviously, because this is we had Paige doing the voiceover, the phone call. And I think that when I was EQing it, for some reason I kept clipping some of her words. So there's parts where like when she's talking, she's like, "See you there," but instead it just says "you there."
Yeah.
Or like it's like "you there." And you don't actually hear the S for some reason because the Premiere this is on Premiere Pro also.
The funniest part about this shit was like the fact that he like doesn't even cut him off.
Yeah.
He just like merges without. I mean, because obviously we didn't want to actually try to actually cut him off on the freeway.
Yeah.
But like the headcanon is like, bro is just so mad
And
that
unhinged.
merging without putting your blinker on kind of close to him just makes him go total ape shit.
It makes me go ape shit. So, it was relatively realistic. But yeah, I mean, I think also like I still don't know how to color grade, but I also especially fucking didn't know back then on Premiere Pro, which is not the most well-known program for color grading. But I basically just fucking made it fucking the teal to orange. I just fucking made it slightly more orange, slightly more magenta, and then increase the saturation a tiny bit, and that's all I did.
Yeah.
We shot this in log, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
So I just added a LUT and then did that shit.
I think the slap scene was also
incredible. Yeah, so
partly because I think I know the actor who was slapped, but also just like
yeah. So this was crazy. So we Jake and I were talking. We're like, hey, how do you want to slap? It's like, okay, so we'll have him go like kind of close to his face, and then see him just like follow it. He's like, no, just actually hit me.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, you're sure? He's like, yeah, actually hit me. Whatever, it's fine. This was the first take we did. The first take, and he fucking actually slaps him, and his glasses fly up and then go back down.
Yeah.
I was saying, I thought you guys like did it in a way where the glasses were on top of his head and they fell down.
No, that was totally unintentional.
Yeah. It was so good because I believe we also might have done like a take or two after that, and we couldn't repeat it.
Nsima does his own stunts.
He does.
He does his own stunts. That's awesome.
Yeah. Also, why we chose him too, because we fucking knew that he would fucking do some crazy ass takedown on the main character, and we wanted that to look realistic. And I think honestly, this film, for what it's worth, besides some issues with my grading, I think it holds up quite well. I think it's short, probably could be a tiny bit shorter, but not even then. I still think it's an enjoyable watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anything, because I couldn't really do, like, this was literally the only people that were ever on set were me, you, and the actor. I had my brother, because a couple of the shots, because we only had Nsima on for this one day, so all the shots where the black car was moving was all my brother driving it, but the maximum amount of people we had on set was 4. The vast majority of the time it was 3.
Yeah. And
so I had nothing in terms of lighting modifiers, nothing like that. There's literally all natural light, and I think it still looks fine to this. Do we still have the footage for this?
We might.
I could honestly try to give it like a regrade.
A regrade? Oh, then put it on fucking orange juice.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this was my brother right here.
Yeah. You can tell. It's not
it's not Nsima, yeah. Yeah, because we just wanted Nsima to do that quick. See, because that took, what, like an hour maybe?
Yeah.
Especially here, I think you can really tell
bones in a meal.
That it's not the same person. But
yeah.
Still, it's totally fine. Totally acceptable.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm still pretty happy with it, because this is the film that my dad talks about the most. Like whenever I show him one of our new films, he's like, that was good, but it's no Man versus Road.
Well, I think too, what's funny is it's highly relatable. I mean, people go through road rage often, like at least once a month.
Yeah.
You see a road rage incident or you're part of one. It's a very common occurrence, so I think it's a really relatable thing to shoot. And
yeah. It's like what would happen if you just took your road rage to the extreme. Yeah, and it's original. The line where he said, like, can you please keep it down? I got a kid in the back. The person that we were originally going to have in the back was Jake's, like, what, at this point, like, 12-year-old cousin?
Yeah.
But we just kind of wanted to keep people on set to a minimum. And he probably wouldn't be the best to work with. So.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, I remember because when we had the idea to use me, when I fucking take my shirt off and put duct tape on, I was outside. I didn't want to be in the fucking trunk the whole time because it was kind of hot. So I would stand outside and I would be trying to direct through the fucking like mouth tape. And then I remember There. See all these cars in the background? They were fucking. I would stand out there, and they would look. Everyone would be fucking staring at me because I fucking looked bizarre with all this fucking shit on, and I would just like kind of like nod to them. And this, I remember there was this one couple. They were in an RV, and the girl was taking a picture of me, and then the guy was like looking over. And I just sort of like kind of like waved, like did this because my hands were I think tied up. So I did this to them, and they like kind of like waved back. And that it was just a fucking bizarre experience, but it was a fun. It was a fun shoot, and I kind of honestly watching it back, I want to like make something like something like this again.
Yeah,
just for fun.
Yeah, because like I mean the really horrendous continuity issue, at least with me, is this scene right here where there's literally nobody in this angle, and then you see hella cars flying him, and then when it cuts back to that back angle, it's like nobody after, and then cars.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the shit that's kind of like unavoidable when you're doing something like this, and so it's like it's not something that I really worried a ton about, like kind of whatever at that point.
Yeah, I think it still holds up though. Even then, I don't even think I didn't really even notice some of those continuity issues. I noticed some of the other ones, but
and then the place where he cuts him off is a totally different location.
Yeah, and
like,
there's also traffic changes. It's going from like free flowing to like almost like gridlock, and then free flowing again. Like it does change quite a bit.
Cuts him off on solid whites, and then when it cuts back to the flip off, it's a
dotted.
Yeah.
So
and it's like hella slow now too. It's like, all right. So this one next up, it's called Old Wounds. This was I would call Milk a major project, right?
Sure. Yeah, I mean it took multiple days.
Yeah. So this was our first major project after Milk. We did a couple of one-day ones, a couple of smaller ones, Man vs. Road, Bed Play, which one we're not watching today. But we were like, fuck it, time to do a bigger in scale project, or in scope project. And that resulted in Old Wounds. 15 minutes, easily the beefiest one we're watching today. But yeah, I'm not gonna lead with anything. Let's just.
I was a PA on this film for 1 day, for one shoot.
Oh yeah. You left like an hour in, right?
No. I was there for probably like 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did leave before the shoot was over.
Yeah, I mean we wrapped at like 1 a.m. that morning.
Yeah, I wasn't there till 1. It was also out in the Bay Area, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was the name of the town? It was.
It was like 10-ish minutes away from Berkeley.
What was it called? I remember.
I don't know.
Oh, Albany.
Yes.
It was Albany.
Albany, New York.
I'm ready.
That's new.
Hey.
Hey, honey. How's everything going?
Good. I didn't burn down the house last night when I made dinner.
Well, that's a relief. Listen, Logan just called me.
Okay. Why?
Well, actually, believe it or not, he wants to have dinner with you sometime this week.
What? Why?
Well, he's in town for a week. Maybe he just wants to reconnect with his brother. I mean, you know he's gotten a lot better, right? And he's bringing his girlfriend. They've been dating for a while.
Actually, I don't think I'll be able to do anything. I think I'm catching the flu tomorrow.
Come on. One dinner isn't too much to ask, is it?
Fine.
Great. Okay, he got a new phone, so I'll text him your number and you guys can set it up.
Okay. Bye, Mom. Love you.
Bye, love you too.
So this was also the only script I think of all of our filmography that I am the only credited writer. So keep in mind that I basically, I mean, obviously we consulted and helped, but I wrote this basically. This whole opening sequence is about 2 minutes. about half of the time of the whole film of Man vs. Road. If I did this today, I would honestly just have him drawing or him doing whatever the fuck, a text like graphic popping up on screen that says, "From Mom, your brother's in town tonight, get dinner with him," and then cut to the next scene. I think I was too obsessed with having the conversations be realistic that I didn't care, or I mean, I cared, but like I didn't put as much thought into how they would flow when we put them on the screen.
I actually think the phone call is fine. I think some of the words in the phone call is what kind of draws attention to, or what kind of makes me feel like it's a, I don't know. I do know like I caught that the word week is repeated a couple times. She's like, oh, he's going to be in town this week. Maybe, and he also wants to have dinner this week. Like I noticed that there was a couple times where it like felt repetitive, but I don't think the phone call flow was at all like too, maybe it could be a tiny bit shorter, but I don't think it needs to be like, I think kind of keeping it to a text graphic would have been a bit not like a cop out, but a bit maybe just not as like I guess appealing to me. I mean that's just from like my perspective. I like to keep stuff like as grounded as possible, but I think the phone call part of it was fine. I just think that maybe it could have been filmed differently to be more interesting. Like he could have been actually like washing the dishes, or he could have been like maybe the drawing. It could have just been filmed a little bit more like epically, I guess, if that makes sense. Like it seemed like very like boring because it's just him sitting. It's just like a couple angles. They could have been maybe like a couple more angles.
Yeah. So if I were to do this again today, there's also a thing I've learned that blocking is huge. So this was the room that we filmed it in. If I were to do this today, I would rotate this chair a little bit more toward the camera and then have him sit in this chair. Because like I think this shot like looks, I'm gonna say bad.
It looks, also the contrast on it is really strong.
The contrast is really strong. His hair looks like it's crushed.
Black. Yeah.
Why didn't I fucking turn this lamp on? Like I easily could have done that. That would have made the scene more interesting. Like this is like, I am the highest that I've ever been technically and equipment wise with all these films that we're watching, but like I don't think a single shot in this opening scene, I mean this one's like okay, but like I don't think a single one of these shots like appeal to me.
Yeah.
They're all just kind of generic, boring coverage.
And I think that if we made I think that honestly like that would have been a huge help to the scene flow in my opinion. I think if like some of the words, if it wasn't just, if we got rid of some of the repetitiveness and we just made it like look more visually appealing, I think that would have actually made you probably feel a lot more favorable towards the scene.
Maybe.
In terms of like the flow, because I think the flow is pretty decent. I also think it's good to establish the relationship with Mom as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge part of the story.
That's fair.
And I think the text wouldn't diminish that.
That's what I agree with too, is what you guys said about the way that it's shot might not be great, but I think it's a great precursor to the rest of the story. Not only to set up the relationship with the mom, but also it's laying the groundwork of the relationship with the brother.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just think some like what's the word for it? Like him breaking the pencil against when he hears that.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, unnecessary. Yeah. And it's not a trope, but what's the word? Like a
cliche.
A cliche. Yeah, there you go. Stuff like that could have been removed or changed or whatnot. But I still think it's almost like we'll see the rest of the film, but it seems necessary. It doesn't seem completely unnecessary. It doesn't seem like you could have done the same thing that you did in this scene with like a 10 or 20 second text message scene or whatever.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I were to do the text message thing, then I would change the whole more or less dynamic of the story. Because the big thing is like his relationship with his mom is. You'll see. But yeah, that makes sense.
I love you too.
Old wounds. Love the J cut.
Hi. I like that. That's the first time you guys did the title card like as part of the shot, right?
Man vs. Road was.
Oh, also like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Good to see you. Hey, Theo, bring it in, man. It's good to see you. I like the beard. That's cool.
Thanks. You smell nice.
Thanks. It's nice to see you too. This is Liz, my girlfriend.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So what brought you back around?
I just thought it'd be nice to show Liz where I grew up and to meet you.
How have you been finding it?
It has its charm. Yeah.
So this shot, I'm actually still happy-ish with how the shot looks. I literally just threw it. I think were you here for the shot, Eric?
I was.
Yeah, I think I literally just threw a tube light right here.
There's a tube light right there.
If I were to do this today, I mean, I don't mean to keep pausing, and I mean maybe we could. But if I were to do this today, I would definitely have a blue light kind of shining down onto this tree, kind of mimicking moonlight just to give it a little color contrast. The color grade is also really fucky in this, because this was in my phase where like I tried to do a lot with the color grade, but I could not. Like I was nowhere near good enough to do the kind of like color grading I was attempting.
Dude, Jasmine is such a good actor, dude. I was fucking realizing that, like, watching this, was like, God, she's like getting all the like little like naturalistic, just like awkwardness, right? Because she's very like trying to like push through that. But fucking Monroe, and I think Monroe did okay with this part. I think that there were parts where I don't think I gave him good enough direction. Actually, I don't think I think that in terms of direction, I think I actually had more notes for the actors we hired than the actors that were our main actors. I'm not sure why that was. Maybe I just kind of felt more like, oh, we're hiring them, I should probably get the most out of them. I don't know what the thought process was there, but I feel like with both Elijahs, I kind of just like let them, and they're both named Elijah, by the way. I think I kind of like just let them do their own thing, and I'm not sure why I did that, because I think that was to the detriment of the film. But yeah, just watching this, fucking phenomenal job.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and you can kind of tell that she's like the only one that kind of does this professionally.
Yeah.
And like is actually a trained actor. And the other two were evidently friends we had that were like, oh yeah, I want to act. That sounds fun. And we threw them as leads in our movie.
Yeah.
How long have you two been dating?
I think 2 years
Okay,
now.
okay, sorry. Jake and I talk about this shot a lot. The concept is cool, but the execution is pretty dog shit. One of the biggest reasons is set and location. This would be way cooler if maybe at least the table was angled like 45 degrees, just to give them something, because they're kind of just sitting. Yeah, they're just sitting against a white wall.
Right.
There's
I also think that the colors. I don't like that they're matching. I would have much rather preferred like complementary colors, maybe like if she was wearing a red and he's wearing that mustard yellow or whatever. But them both wearing yellow.
That was coincidental. That was not planned at all.
Oh, not planned? Yeah.
Yeah, it just happened to be she happened to pull up with that exact one.
Gotcha.
Or maybe it was the other way around. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it looks a little strange, right?
Yeah. And like even let's see the
I just broken up with my last girlfriend.
why the fuck is
it's just like it feels like a soap opera. It feels it feels like very fake.
Why did I crush the shadows so hard? Whatever. Also, why the fuck is a motivated light source right here, but the key light on the other side of his face? I wanted to shoot on the shadow side, I guess, but
yeah, I don't know. What's
yeah, it was not great.
You also rushed through this production though, didn't you? Weren't you rushing through this, trying to finish it? Like,
we were dragging with it. We tried to. Really? We took so long to edit this. We took several months. I don't know how many months we took, but we took a really long time to edit.
Yeah, I mean, I think like we were talking about this in another podcast, how it's almost emblematic of how you're gonna feel about a film and how excited you are about a film based on the motivation you have to edit it. Because there are some films that, like Jake edited our most recent one, Finger Guns, like in less than a week.
in like a couple days. We edited I Study People in less than a week, or around a week maybe. In terms of like the actual sequencing.
Yeah.
I'll say we did it in like less than 2 weeks. We took the next one we'll watch, I'll See You Again. That took I think a month roughly for sequencing. Right? I think so.
Was it that long?
Might have been less for the actual sequence.
Oh,
but,
okay. We were actually getting we had some hiccups with DaVinci.
Oh yeah, there was. But yeah, it was a few weeks for that. Probably less than that. And then Death Knows My Name, which we're not watching. That took us several. As you know, Eric, it took us quite a long time to edit that. And yeah, just kind of how the way things go.
Yeah.
No. Anyways, I think I was at some frat party and.
Oh, that reminds me.
You can tell this character's kind of an asshole.
We lay it on kind of thick.
No, actually, no thanks. I don't drink anymore. Liz kind of helped me with that. I don't think I've had a drink in maybe like 6 months. I try to keep it only to special occasions.
Is this not a special occasion?
What was the issue with continuity here that we held that shot for so long? Because there was some continuity issue that we couldn't cut back to him.
I don't remember. I remember it. It was because
he was like standing.
It was because the bottle, Monroe stood there with the bottle opened right next to him when he says like, is this not a special occasion? I don't know why we didn't catch that, but I think he was like right next to him when he said that. And then in the other shot, he's sitting down like this. So I think there's just like a complete different location for the character of Theo.
Peak necessary montage.
Do you still draw?
You mean sketch?
What's the difference?
The big difference. Drawing takes longer and more time and just more detailed. Sketching is less detail and quicker.
So you just don't finish?
No, it's...
May I?
Yeah.
What?
That was improv and I love it. I think that... Okay, I think...
Her saying, may I?
No, so you just don't finish.
The whole like...
Oh, gotcha.
Because it was... I don't even know what the fuck the fucking dialogue originally was, but God... I hate how we framed this scene. It's so crammed. It's so like fucking... God. I know I know Trask also hates it because he thinks that we made him like look like a fat ass because he's like the like fucking the angle we get on him, but whatever, dude.
No, this is just bad. Like we should good. Like I was so set on like having the script word for word that I was just like, okay, this says it takes place in his bedroom, so it must be in his bedroom. Like
living room.
I would totally just shift it to the living room.
Yeah.
If we reshot this. You can tell it's a sketchbook because it says sketch.
Wow. Whoa. These are actually really good.
Thank you. Oh, what happened there?
The great gray owl has very unique wing pattern.
Are owls your favorite thing to draw?
Yeah, they're pretty much my favorite animal. It's a little embarrassing, but sometimes I'll go and hide.
She just said the favorite thing to draw when he just spent all that time explaining the difference between drawing and sketching. Have you guys ever caught that before?
No.
She basically just like subverted everything you said. It was like, it's your favorite thing to draw?
Unique wing pattern.
Are owls your favorite thing to draw?
Yeah, they're pretty much my favorite animal. It's a little embarrassing, but sometimes I'll go and hide in bushes and owl watch.
That's not embarrassing. I mean, that's totally reasonable.
It's pretty fucking embarrassing.
Logan said that you guys used to go hunting with your dad together?
Yeah, that last time we did that was like...
Yeah, probably a year before he died.
God, the whole point of this scene is to convey that they used to go on hunting trips and the dad's dead. Why the fuck is it so long?
Definitely been a while.
You guys should go on another one, for old time's sake.
If you're lucky, I'll bring you back some squirrel.
For old time's sake.
Gross.
How about it?
Yeah, she's so charming. She does such a great job.
I know.
She's definitely, you could just tell that she's it's like natural to her.
Yeah, it's unfortunate she moved to LA because I would definitely love to work with her again because
Yeah.
I think that we have some roles coming up where that would be good.
I'd also love to see what she's been. Has she? Well, that's not the point of the podcast, but yeah. Yeah. Anyways.
Do we not have the music?
What?
There was like the morning song.
No, we cut that.
Was that a meme?
We cut that, yeah.
Fuck off!
Oh, I remember you guys. You guys. That's why it took so long, right? Like part of the reason was because you guys didn't know how to shoot this part of it of him stepping on the.
Yeah. So there was originally like a scene of them walking, and then he steps on the thing. So the movie was originally even longer. It was like some establishers, and then it cuts like them walking through. But we're like, dude, we need to fucking make this shorter. And this sequence is easily the worst sequence of the film too.
Yeah.
Let's watch it real quick and then talk about it.
It's so jarring. It's just like.
Fuck off! Holy shit!
We don't even see what's happening.
Here. Let me get it. Ah, God.
Like we don't know what the fuck happened. Oh, this looks like shit too.
Yeah.
I think we literally shot this at like 1 o'clock.
Do you want to explain also why it might look like shit? Was there anything you did with with anything with ISO that you did?
So, we were shooting this on the Sony FX3, and I forget I was doing. Okay. So, one of the final shots in this movie is a nighttime car shot, like where we mounted the car onto the hood. Oh, sorry, what the fuck? We mounted the camera onto the hood of a car and we're driving it. So I was testing it the night before, and because it was night, I set the camera to its second base 12,800 ISO. We got to this location, and I forgot to change it back to the first base at 800 ISO. So this entire sequence, broad daylight, 1 o'clock, the brightest it is in the day, the camera's at 12,800 ISO with like 9 stops of variable ND. Which, if you put variable ND on a full frame sensor, when you get to the higher stops, there's a pretty heavy vignette. Just because of how they work.
So the whole scene looks compromised for a lot of reasons, but that's another key aspect of it.
Yeah, we didn't use a single lighting modifier. We had flags and neg, but I don't think we used any.
We set them up, yeah. I remember them being a fucking pain in the dick because we had this trail was a bit of a tight like spot, and it was me, you, Josh Garrett, the actors, and Sean, or no?
I think Garrett or Josh was running audio.
Was Sean even there for the night for this?
I don't think so.
I don't think he was there. No, he wasn't there. Yeah, so boom.
I also think like this is a great example of a scene that maybe should have been tweaked or done differently instead of saying he stepped on a spike, because like with the sock on, there's nothing like visual for the viewer to grasp onto.
Yeah.
So it literally just like honestly, without knowing as a precursor, because I had read the script and I was there, not for this scene, but I was there and I talked to you guys and the other scene about what was going to happen. But he stepped on a bear trap, right? On a spike, basically.
So the original plan was bear trap, but
Yeah.
that'd be too hard to actually pull off, so we changed it to a spike trap.
To a spike trap. But I think the thing that's just funny is that like
His foot
you
looks
don't
fine.
you don't get that you don't get that from the previous scenes. He just starts screaming and then he's rapping it. And as far as like the viewer can tell, he just had like a foot cramp, and this guy like is wrapping his foot over his sock for a foot cramp.
Yeah.
So it's
I think at one point after we shot it, we were going to try to like reshoot this entire sequence so that he like climbs up on a rock and then falls and breaks his ankle or something.
Yeah.
But I think at that point that was like 2 months or a month after principal, and we were just like, fuck it, we just want to be done with this project. We're done with this. Until we just didn't even care enough. We submitted this to a couple of festivals. It got rejected from every single one, unsurprisingly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roll the tape.
Fuck off! I got it!
Yeah, so bad. And this wasn't rehearsed or blocked at all. Unsurprisingly.
This was first take?
No, it wasn't first take.
It wasn't
but
rehearsed?
We didn't rehearse it at all. We didn't go through it. We were just... Because, okay, also, we were an hour late to start shooting.
Yeah.
Because we
they
had...
missed a spot. Yeah. I remember you told me about it.
So we had 2 people who were coming to kind of help us with the shoot. And we gave them a coordinate point for Google Maps. But they basically, long story short, it's kind of hard to find. And so our plan was to get there earlier. And then like I would wave by the road and flag people down and say, hey, it's right here. They got there like 5 minutes before we did. But they didn't know where to go. So they just passed us and sat like at a parking lot kind of like 5 minutes up the like road. And there was no service. And so we wanted to start shooting at noon. But we ended up starting to shoot closer to like 1:10. 1:15.
Yeah, and I was pissed. I thought they fucking bailed on us. I was like,
Me
God, these
too.
fuckers. Because they weren't showing up, but apparently they were too early, and that was the problem.
Yeah, and so we were just super rushed on this, which was, yeah. There were just so much shit that went wrong with this.
Let's roll it.
Oh, and the gun just pops out of nowhere, right?
Yeah. And it kind of looks like he's on like some kind of night watch just in case like they get attacked.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with hunting at all, so.
Oh, hey, how's it feeling?
Feels great. As good as if my foot didn't just get punctured by spikes.
It's fine. At least you can walk.
Yeah, and now we just fucking exposit what just happened because
Yeah.
it was so unclear.
Barely.
Just try and relax and we'll cut the trip short.
Yeah, no
And
shit.
the fucking shadows are so bad. Like, I thought this looked decent when we first shot it, but like, it just looks so bad.
We'll cut it short.
Look, I know it's a shitty situation and your foot hurts, but can you just try and stop it with the remarks? It's almost 10, so get some sleep. We'll leave in the morning, and it only took us a couple hours to get here, so we'll be back by late afternoon.
Whatever.
I'm still really happy with this shot, actually. This just fucking happened. Like, the moon was just there and it just reflected off the water. And I know it's gonna hard to see right now because it's bright, but like it looks good when you actually just look at the shot.
Liz, hello? Are you there?
Logan, it's almost 1 a.m. Are you guys okay?
Oh, holy shit, Liz. I don't know how this happened, but Theo, his foot, it's fucked. We tried to...
Hello?
Liz, can you hear me? Are you there? Oh, shit. Dude.
What?
Give me your phone really quick.
Why?
I was at the lake. I was able to get enough service to call Liz for a second drop.
Liz? Why the fuck would you call her? Why not the park ranger or something?
Oh, yeah, let me just call the park ranger I've got on speed dial real quick. The call dropped in like 10 seconds.
Did you forget what 911 is for?
It dropped anyway. It doesn't even really matter.
Getting us out of here doesn't matter.
You know that's not what I meant.
No. It's fine. Why don't you just let me sit here, die of an infection? You could go ahead and drink yourself half to death.
Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. At least I've changed. I grew, and where you're just sitting in your room all day, locked away, and the only other person that you talk to in the world is Mom. But you've got to actually learn how to grow the fuck up and move on.
Yeah, I'm not the kind of person who could get through something like that alone. Okay, I needed my brother, but you were too busy fucking a different girl every night. Yeah, you were too busy to grieve with your family.
You don't think that I thought about that? I think about that every day, leaving Mom like that. But I've actually changed. I've grown. I made amends with Mom. You've got to actually get yourself out of the hole that you dug and better yourself.
Why? So I could just isolate myself from everybody who cares about me? Like you? Do you honestly think that apology was going to absolve you from anything at this point?
Fuck off, you miserable prick.
So that's the big fight, the big climax of the film, and we're only like 2/3 done. It's not bad. The shot's still pretty good.
The Tarantino shot.
Excellent book, by the way. Excellent book. For the crowd that's sing.
Hell yeah.
Shout out.
I think this shot still looks this scene still looks fine. So what happened with this?
Really? Okay, this is my least favorite scene in the film.
Just the cinematography wise.
Oh, isn't it really?
I mean, it looks better than most of the other stuff. I mean, the principles are there.
All right. I mean, I think that there's other parts of the film that I don't mind as much. I think because I know that when we first shot the camping sequences, I think that like a lot of the grade made it a lot harder to figure out what we were doing. But like I remember watching it with just the LUT on, and it looked pretty good because there was still a lot of detail there. I think you might have went a little bit crazy with the crushing of the shadows to make it like look more night-like, but I think I like the way that stuff like looks a bit better.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. The story with this one is I rented a motel room for the night, and we went in there like 7 of us, and they called us within like 30 seconds, being like, "Hey, no parties allowed in this room. Blah blah blah. Whatever. You guys, you can't have that many people in there." And so we left and reconvened at the car, and then Jake and I went in with like all of the camera gear hidden inside a suitcase, and then we had just these 2 actors come in like 10 minutes later after we set everything up.
Yeah.
So the plan was to just literally speedrun this scene as quickly as possible so that we didn't get kicked out again, basically.
Mm.
And you can kind of probably tell that we rushed it. I didn't do a ton of like lighting work. I didn't care that much about the angles. Like like, and I kind of see where you're coming from, but it just kind of looks like pretty bad as a result of that.
And?
I guess she wants me to come over once more before we leave.
The entire scene is 80 yard too.
This is what?
80 yard. Because we couldn't get good audio because it was literally Jake, me, and the 2 actors.
And I think there was like the fucking AC hum was like burn.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure what to do with that, so
it was so bad.
Yeah.
She knows our flight's at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, She just really wants me to see Theo one more time before we leave.
Do you want to?
Maybe. I don't even know.
Yeah, you're right. This looks like shit.
You don't know when you'll get to visit again. I think you should try.
Yeah, maybe.
He may have been kind of a dick, but he's still your brother. And you know how badly I wish I had a sister growing up. You can go. I'll just stay in the room and order food or something.
I love you.
I love you too.
And then like the difference in their audio quality is so crazy too.
Yeah. Oh god, this shot. Doing dishes in pitch dark.
So, how's your foot?
It's a lot better than I thought it would be. They stitched up and gave me some antibiotics, but I just can't put too much weight on it for a couple weeks.
Did they say anything about the bandaging?
Yeah, they said it looked professionally done.
Really?
No, not at all.
When he called me, he really downplayed it. I didn't think it was nearly as bad as it was.
I didn't want you to worry. Did Logan tell you how that was the fastest time he's ever pitched a tent before?
No, I don't think he did.
It was probably the urgency of the situation, but when we went with Dad, he would always take his time, walk us step by step. I don't think we got one up in less than 15 minutes, ever.
Well, I'm just glad it all worked out. You should probably pay better attention to the trail next time.
Yeah. How was I supposed to do that?
You should probably pay better attention to the trail next time.
Yeah. How was I supposed to do that?
Yeah, you can pause it.
I was waiting for the post-credit scene.
Not for this one. It's just not like. Honestly, it's worse than I remember.
It is. It is my least favorite film that I've done, for a lot of reasons. I think, and we've talked about this, I think it doesn't need to be that many scenes. I think that the core of the story, we tried too many things. We tried to do a character arc where Theo is very apprehensive about this whole situation. He hates his brother. He's kind of a dick. And then you find out that he's actually kind of justified for feeling the way he does. And then we just fucking... it all falls apart because it's you can't do that in a short film. I think you kind of can, but the arc is too complex. It's too complex for 15-minute runtime. Maybe a feature film could have done better, but
yeah, like this is just like the textbook definition of a short that wants to be a feature.
Yeah, it's
a short in only short by runtime.
Yeah,
like nothing about this film is a short film. This is a short feature film, and those are never good. Like I don't think I've seen a single one that's good.
Yeah.
It just tries too much shit. Like there's this whole thing where the whole core of the story is their dad dies and then that causes them to cope with it differently. Logan by drinking and womanizing, and Theo by being a recluse, and then that eventually drives them apart and they try to get back. It's just too much. The writing isn't great. We didn't give them very good direction on the acting. The cinematography is subpar. I'm not really happy with a single shot in it, except maybe the driving one, because it's novel, but like that's kind of it. It's just like there's also nothing like, I guess, impressive about it.
No, I regret making it. I mean, actually, no, I don't.
No,
I don't regret it for the learning experience, but I regret that this is I regret that this is a fucking on my filmography.
Yeah. No, I mean, very, very valuable learning experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Very valuable. But the project is just like bad in every way. And this film cost like $1,400-$1,500 too.
Yeah.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, because we rented the Airbnb for it.
Right.
That
Two
house.
actors.
Motel. We got those 2 air guns that we saw one of, like $100 each. Props, food, like all. It wasn't great.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I would just say that like there were a ton of things. You talked about how this was your highest in terms of technical like ability and equipment, right?
Yeah.
And it just like didn't transfer over, partly because I think that just the direction of the plot was kind of ambiguous, and I think like even in this like conversation scene, I didn't really get from it that he was a womanizer, and like it just seems like he went to college. You know what I mean? Like that's all I took from it. It's like, oh, he went to college and this other guy didn't. His brother didn't. And so yeah, I think a lot of it could have been done better or just not been done at all. I do think like there are like the scene, the shot. I mean, this is a great shot. I think it like there's a lot of cool things that you guys did do. I also think this is a very valuable learning experience in terms of having people act and not just hiring good actors to be in your films. Not like you mentioned that they didn't really have a lot of direction in some senses, but I do think it's super important to the acting took away from the film in a lot of different capacities. So
I will say this about it. This absolutely was the turning point for Owen and I, where we were like, yeah, we're going to start hiring actors. There's actually a couple of reasons for that. Some off-screen drama that's not worth getting into, but it kind of pushed us away from hiring friends as actors for the most part. And also just not using the same actor over and over again. We have done that since this, but we try to, even if we're like, you know what, I think this actor would be great for this short, we're like, you know what, maybe we should try to, unless it's like it's perfect, like if it lines up perfectly, then of course we're not gonna like, you know, hire a worse actor for the sake of principle. But you know, I think that this one kind of taught us like, hey, let's acting is a really important thing, and we should hire good actors who are, and I'm not going to try to say like these guys did a bad job. I think they did great for what they had, and I think they did great for their experience level, which was, you know, they were just learning like us. They were like kind of at the same level of us, or same level as us, but with acting as opposed to the filmmaking side. So, you know, I can't blame them for their learning ability, or the fact that they were just learning with us. But it's very obvious who we hired for this film in terms of acting. So I think that is one big thing we learned.
Also, this was the last film that we co-directed.
Yeah.
Every film after this, either I've directed it or Jake has directed it. It was just too much on my end because I was directing it and DPing it, and some of the decisions were disheveled. Like if we didn't agree on something or whatever, it just like. I mean, I don't regret making it at all because we learned so much of it. And it was a great learning experience.
Yeah.
But the final product is just like not good on, I don't think, on any axis.
Well, I regret watching it. So let's move on.
Move on to so this is our next. I'll See You Again was our next major project. We had done we called them micro projects. We had done a few micro projects in between I'll See You Again and Old Wounds. And yeah, this is our first film shot on the Red Komodo.
Shot on Red Komodo.
Yeah.
Old Wounds was our last film shot on the FX3. At least our last major project. I believe our micro project Plastic Bag was technically our last FX3 film. But yeah, I still think that this is one of my favorites. It was actually given to me by the actor. The story was given to me by the actor who plays Theo in Old Wounds, Elijah Monroe. He gave me the story, which was basically, the concept was, I don't want to spoil it before we fucking begin it, because why not? Or why would I do that? But it's just about a man who grieves the loss of his mother. And I think that it holds up decently well, but I haven't seen it in a while, so we'll see.
Yeah, me neither. Yep, I'm good at that. Let's watch it.
already a huge difference in the quality of the image. And the grading looks incredible too.
I couldn't stand to look at her. I thought that if I could block her out of my mind, that things would be okay. That maybe I could finally forget. These last few months don't even feel real. Everything seems so hollow and stale. Have you ever felt that way before, Dr. Marigold?
Mm-hmm.
Darkness.
I've never dealt with something like that, and I just wanted it to stop. I needed it to, and everything in that house is just... it's all just too much. I saw too much of her in me. I couldn't really think of another way to deal with it.
Fucking disgusting ass fucking sink.
It's wild.
Have you seen this before, Eric?
No, first time.
Really?
Fuck. No, please.
I just want to see her again.
How much damage do you feel like there is?
I was hoping maybe you could tell me. Would you like me to show you?
Let's have a look.
The Sigma.
So, what do you think?
Wow. That was sick. That was
Fuck
sick.
yeah, dude. Wow, that was a lot. I like that a lot more than I thought I did.
Yeah?
Honestly, like
Yeah.
because we've talked about it in the past, kind of like, you know, just sort of just to chat about it. But fucking, I like that a lot better than I thought I did.
Yeah. I still think it drags a little bit in the middle. I think if we somehow got it down to like 7 minutes.
I was gonna say the 4 to 7 minutes is a good range to be.
Yeah, that'd be like perfect. Some of it. What's up?
I think maybe it did drag, but I think you guys did such a good job of setting up whatever the potential thing looming was that was to come. That like it kind of held me through the drag. You know what I mean? Like I was just waiting for that thing to happen.
Waiting for the payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was the payoff-ish enough to you?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was pretty wild. I didn't really know. I knew what I had seen the still at the end. I remember Jake showed me this still. But I hadn't seen this yet. And so I like this was wild. I didn't know how you guys shot it. That was pretty cool.
That was yeah. So the funny thing about this too, we shot this all in 2 days. One scene, one day was all the doctor's office stuff. We shot everything else in 1 day, which was a little bit hectic. We only had, it was Jake, I, actor, 2 other people.
We had Ryan for the beach stuff.
Yeah.
Or the Bodega. This is shot in Bodega Bay. We had Ryan for a little bit, and then we had Paige and Aaron.
Yeah.
So yeah, only 2 other people.
Ryan left after a bit. Yeah.
Skeleton crew.
It was very, very, very skeleton. I'm proud of what this was, considering the crew we had. My biggest regret with it is we should have shot it over 2 days, over one additional day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we left Bodega Bay at like 11:30 after getting there at like 10 a.m. So I like damn near fell asleep fucking driving home so many times.
Yeah, because it's a 2-hour drive there, 2-hour drive back. So
right.
Well, we should have like spent the night there. Like
we should have spent the night and probably like held off on some scenes. I'm not sure what we would have done, but yeah. I think also like I still think this actually holds up remarkably well. I think we probably should do like if we have time and we're kind of like if we're done with like some films, I think we should do like a quick little like re-edit or something for OJ.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Because I like regrade.
I'll definitely regrade. I definitely want to do some more stuff with this grade. This grade isn't the worst, but I want to do a couple of different things with it.
I love it. I think it fits the movie really well.
It definitely does, yeah.
But I love it.
Like low saturation, kind of very bleak tones.
Yeah, but also I think the setting of, because this was shot in Monterey, I think it captures Monterey. Bodega.
Yeah.
But still, I think it captures it well. You could see the fog. It seems like a foggy day. So I really enjoyed, I think, especially the whole opening sequence. And then you guys kept it into the doctor scenes too, that same kind of stylistic grading approach. And
who do you think plays the doctor? Do you know?
The doctor?
Yeah.
Do I know him?
No, but it's my girlfriend. It's my girlfriend's dad.
Oh, I feel like you told me that. I feel like I remember you saying
he's
that.
actually a nurse. So we were like, he has a lab coat. I was like, yo, bring it. And then we actually got that custom nameplate. For it.
I thought this was funny too. This scene. Have you ever felt that way? And he shakes no, and then he says yes.
I don't know if that was intentional, but that is kind of. I did catch
thought it was
that
funny,
too.
but then after seeing that, well, he's completely blind at the end. It makes sense that he was like.
Yeah.
He said no at first, and then just said yes to make this dude feel better. So I like that.
It's also supposed to be a bit awkward because he's like treating this doctor's office like a therapy, like a therapist.
Yeah.
And the doctor's kind of like, okay. Like what exactly? Like what am I supposed to do? And then when he shows him like what, like tell me what do you think? It's like, well, obviously your eyes are fucking gone. Like what do you want me to tell you? This guy, like we actually named him Arthur. He's not named in this film. We didn't really realize that until after we had wrapped filming. He's unnamed, which is fine. But you know, the idea is like, why the fuck are you in my office? Your eyes are completely fucked. There's no surgery that can repair them, and that's why this character is there. He's very he's very delusional and desperate and a maniac, and he thinks that like he thinks that he can undo the permanent actions of gouging his own eyes out.
Right. This was my favorite shot of him smashing the mirror. This wide shot.
And he actually smashes it too. This is a real mirror, real fucking shards of mirror flying. If you actually look closely, he closes he closes his eyes for a second and then opens them after.
That's an awesome shot. And I love that you guys held it. You guys held. Yeah, fantastic. I think that's great.
I think there's a couple things we could have done because he's supposed to be gripping the shards so hard it starts cutting into his own skin. I think that's like not totally obvious. It just like looks like blood is randomly
I think
pouring.
for sure.
You think so?
Yeah, right here, and then especially once you zoom out, it's clear why it was bleeding.
Yeah, I actually think that looks pretty authentic too.
Yeah,
like it looks like it genuinely just is a gash, because you can see the point of where the mirror is in his hand.
Yeah, the only thing I think is just at the end here, him like smiling about it was kind of interesting. Like, what do you think?
Again, it's supposed to be like him being like delusional, but you think like it just.
He's like, what do you think? You can get this, right? Yeah, this will work out, right? I'll get my ass back out.
Yeah, I think some of that was not totally obvious. I think like Owen, what do you think of this like film framing, lighting wise? Just like the way you framed it, the way you lit it, the way you blocked it. I mean, I think for some of it, I think this looks great to me.
Yeah.
I think some of the close-ups in the doctor's office feels a little bit flat to me, like the side profile stuff. That kind of feels like a bit old woundsy in the way it's like there's no depth in the background because it's just a glass wall window.
I mean, there's only so much I could have done, right?
Exactly,
I could have off-centered it a little bit. My biggest grievance was with this location, like the doctor's office stuff specifically, was lack of production design.
Yeah.
And we did this ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we completely rearranged this office into a doctor's office. God damn it. I think we did good for production design. There was actually, we decked out like a whole like shelf with a bunch of stuff and put it to the doctor's
on the
left,
fucking wrong side,
which we never fucking saw in the movie. Obviously,
I see a
changing
printer
that,
though.
The printer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's where the if I could find it, that's where like the warm lights coming on the back of his head right there, it's supposed to be, because there's a lamp right there. But obviously we just never fucking see it.
Yep.
I'm happy with the cinematography. I'll definitely regrade it, and I think if I regrade it, it could look a little bit better. But overall, I think this still holds up decently well.
I agree. I think that this is probably my favorite that we've done so far. I don't know. We'll see how the other one turns out, which we should have a final cut today, hopefully, if Leonard pulls through.
Yeah. I still think, I mean, the lighting here was a little bit iffy.
Yeah.
But like, there is only so much you can do when you're working in like real world locations
where you have such a tight and
yeah,
crammed space.
The space was so small. Like we did everything we could.
Yeah. And then my last remark about this is, Eric, you asked how we filmed that with the blood pouring down. It was these giant, comically large syringes filled with fake blood. And it was Paige and we were standing on the counter. And when he had I don't know why he was holding the shard of the mirror like this, and he was just like slightly missing. There was no need for that. We could have just taken it out of his hand and then had him just do this, and it could have been more, because you can see when he stabs on this side, his hand kind of goes like this instead of like that.
Right.
Which is, it's kind of hard to see because we obviously pan down. But I think that basically we just, as soon as he stabbed with one eye, we were just slowly emptying the syringe. And we did this in one take.
Yeah.
This is the only take we had. Because we were like, fuck it, I don't want to fucking reset this bullshit. It's so late. It was like fucking like 10:30 when we shot this. Probably later, honestly.
Yeah, and Phoenix, the actor here, did a phenomenal job throughout this.
Yeah. I could tell he's definitely a big upgrade in the actor department.
Yeah, and we had him on the podcast too. You can check the podcast out if you want to. Shameless plugging.
Shameless plug.
Never stop the shameless plugging.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm
IndieFilm Insider podcast.
I'm still pretty happy with how this came out. Obviously, wish I did things a little bit differently. This is my first time using the Komodo on a project. I think I got it like a week or two before we shot the first scene, so I didn't have a ton of time to mess around with it. Obviously, now I know a lot more like how it works and the codecs and shit like that. But I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Just some grading stuff aside.
Yeah, I think that kind of going through all of our films, it makes me like a lot more confident in our abilities, just seeing our skills progress over those 5 years, because we chose a year, a 5, actually technically 4-year range, because this was shot in 24,
sure,
summer of 24 roughly. But yeah, I think that 4-year range we showed, you do see a very noticeable difference in each film, and we chose film. We have in-betweeners that we didn't show, that would have gave you a more gradual progression. But overall, I think that you can see where we're going in the future, and hopefully we make that future one day, and hopefully the films that we have coming out soon that we have already shot can also continue that progression forward. But
yeah. We'll have all these films linked down in the description below if you want to check it out without the cuts, because you're probably gonna cut stuff out.
I'm
right?
gonna cut quite a bit out. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have them down below if you want to see the films in their entirety. But Eric, do you have any final thoughts? Any final thoughts with us?
Yeah, I think I think it's clear that you guys are scaling up. Well, I think with any new skill, there's the curve that comes up at the very beginning, and you guys are like, I think, right on the apex of it going up. You know what I mean? Like, so it's pretty cool to watch. And yeah, I'm excited for what you guys come out with in the future.
And stuff that you'll help write and you'll help us on.
I gotta get on that, Eric. I gotta start writing some more screenplays for us.
For sure.
Yeah, that being said, Eric, thank you for joining us on this journey.
Thank you for having me.
I think the longest episode of IFI so far.
Probably. Easily.
if people want to check you out, follow your Instagram, see any projects that you might be working on, where could they do that?
Cool.
Where can they do that?
Where can they do that?
Oh, my
like
God.
Your social medias. Plug yourself.
@_Eric_Dutka, and then it's not linked on there yet, but I will link my Substack in my Instagram bio.
Oh, shit. We're doing a Substack.
What are you putting on there?
Just various writing that I'm doing, short stories, stuff like that.
Very nice.
So, cool.
Awesome. Yeah. If you want to check me out, I am @owencar.dp on Instagram.
I am @JakeRossBell on Instagram, and thank you for watching.
Yes, if you want to check out the last podcast episode we did, that was our 100 subscriber special with special guest Ryan Sagan. Did a little Truth or Drink special. That'll be on the screen. It has been for the past couple seconds. And thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a great day.
Indeed. Oh my fucking God. Never do